So have you ever found like any like panties, any like, you know, condoms, anything in the car?
Yeah.
Even throughout this pandemic years, you still made around that money?
No, I would say over time it has gotten worse. I hate doing this. I'm gonna answer your question in the way you didn't want me to.
Any vehicle that's over 6,000 pounds, you can deduct it on the tax code 179, everything, 100% of the vehicle in the first year. So, not an accountant, talk to your accountants, but that's a fact. Do you think people are having sex in your Teslas?
Oh, jeez.
CEO in motion. CEO in motion. CEO in motion. CEO in motion.
We're live.
Yeah, we're live, so you're no stranger to Teslas.
I am not.
So, Will, very nice meeting you.
Yeah.
Tell us what your business is and how we kind of just met, really.
I am actually curious how we did meet because I saw you there. I've seen your car, and I saw one of my guys talking to you.
Yeah.
So I started walking over, and right away you said, "What'd you say? I want to talk to you," something like that.
Well, I asked like, first of all, I saw two people, so let's explain. I'm in a parking lot, and I see one Tesla, and I see a couple people taking pictures on the Tesla, and they're trying to figure out. So I was like, oh, maybe they're new to the Tesla family. They don't know what to do. So I wanted to offer questions, but then another Tesla rolled up, and then another Tesla rolled up, and I was like, what's going on with all these Teslas? And there was a guy, I guess, does he work for you, wearing a yellow vest?
Yeah.
Sort of like construction. So I figured, okay, that's probably part of the Tesla team. They're trying to do some safety features, but no. You own the largest Turo EV here?
I think so. I think one other person on Turo has more Teslas than me. However, he has almost only 3s.
Okay, because I've seen your gamut. You got the X's, you got the Sports. What's the name of your website and the page? Let's start there.
The name of the company is Las Vegas Electric Vehicles.
Okay.
And the website is LVEV-rentals.com.
LVEV-rentals.com, and for the Instagram, the people that are watching this probably on Instagram is going to be LVEV_rentals.
Probably not good for consistency. I should probably stick to one thing.
Well, it works just fine. It's just on the Instagram, it's the same thing. People will find you. So I'm genuinely super excited about this because by the way, the cameras are always rolling as long as that flash is moving. That's your camera. Okay. That's ours. That's mine. We're gonna go drive to downtown, man. I'm not downtown, just the strip, driving up and down.
Cheers.
There's your drink. I like Bang, bro. So they got like these weird flavors, but you know, I like it, so.
You sort of just now made an MMA reference, like a UFC reference. Do you know what you just said?
No, tell me.
Bang? Well, there's a whole thing, let me bang bro. There's two guys, we're gonna get into a fight. They're living in the house on this reality TV show that's UFC. Are you a big UFC guy? I was. I have trained in UFC, and if you search hard enough, you can actually find videos of me fighting in Thailand.
Oh, you were kicking some butt in Thailand.
Well, I don't know if I was kicking butt. I was certainly trying to.
Wait, do you know this guy? Let's see. Not that. Because I was just with some UFC fighter that I'm sure you might recognize. Then let's see. Where's the picture that they sent it to me? He's the champion right now.
Yeah. Well, so clearly I'm not up to date and keeping up with UFC. I don't know who that is, but he looks familiar.
Well, he's been kicking out. He's from South Africa. Anyways, big fighter, and he was doing, obviously this is the big 300 UFC fight. Right. But yeah, now I get to explain the reference for the UFC bang. So anyways, so I want to know like how you started the business. So this podcast is all about like just getting to know people about their business, kind of how they go from one car to 2 cars. Like what was your background, man? So okay, I suppose if I was my origin story would start with me watching the simultaneous boosters, SpaceX boosters landing. Oh, I like you, Will. I like you. I watched this with tears. And that's amazing, huh? Wasn't that amazing? Oh yeah. Every time I watch it, I'm just astonished. And I kind of said to myself, well, I'm not an engineer, right? Plus, you can't invest in SpaceX. I mean, yeah, it's still private, right? And so I decided, well, let's look into Tesla.
and invested in Tesla. I want to say, well, certainly pre-COVID.
Good job.
And, well, yeah, it helped a little bit. And then,
how much did you invest?
Oh, I don't remember. Okay, I don't remember exactly. I actually avoid these topics on purpose. I avoid naming numbers, and the reason why is because
$5 grand, 50 grand,
yeah,
10 grand, 3 grand.
Yeah,
give me a little range. You know. Just,
oh, okay.
So I want to know how smart you were when you did this investment.
I want to say between 35 and 40.
Nice.
Yeah.
Okay, so you did real good. That's a good move.
Yeah. Yeah, yeah. Oh,
most
for sure.
people have not realized, because that's when the doomsday was happening. Everybody was saying this is not gonna happen.
But here's what it did to me though. I wake up, groggy, go straight to the laptop, open it up, start the coffee, wait for the ticker, or wait for the where are my numbers at? Like let's get excited.
Did you do that daily?
Oh, every single morning. And I started to recognize how unhealthy that was.
That is, bro.
And I didn't lose money. Overall I made quite a bit, but I just couldn't do it anymore.
As long as you don't sell, that's gonna continue to go up.
Tesla, yes.
Yes.
Yeah. So
you know your things.
And at some point in time, I want to say around then, I just made a commitment to myself. I didn't have a car. The next car I buy is going to be a Tesla.
From no car.
Yeah, I did not have.
I'm gonna get a Tesla.
Yeah. The next car I buy has to be a Tesla. Now,
why?
I went on a second date with a girl. And Uber wasn't working out, and she offered to pick me up, and I felt like, well, a loser. I'm on a second date, and she had to pick me up to take me there. So I tried to explain to her I'm waiting for a certain car to come out. I actually had, by that time, I already had 3 Cybertruck reservations. So
nice.
Which is a whole side topic.
We'll get to it.
People being excited about Cybertruck right now, it's frustrating for me because I did that years ago.
I ordered mine 4 years ago.
Yeah.
And then my neighbor rolls up with a Cybertruck, and I see him like 2 days ago. I was like, this mother...
no. Do you know how many people I told to make a reservation? It's only $100. Just do it. I think nobody did, and I'm sure all of them are kicking themselves now. So anyway,
I like you.
I explained. Oh, thank you. I explained to her that I'm waiting for a particular car. I was referencing the Cybertruck. I didn't know anything about like the other Teslas. Like to me, it was just like there are these cars that Tesla's working on. Fine, I want the Cybertruck.
So 2019, that's when you made your reservation for the Cybertruck.
It may have been end of 19 or like beginning of 20.
2020. Yeah, because I've been waiting for 4 years. So yeah, it's maybe 2020. You're right.
I finally get my first Tesla. I want to say it wasn't until December 21, I think.
Yeah.
And I immediately, it was so exciting. I remember getting in the car with my girlfriend at the time, and I always heard about the acceleration and pull off the this is a mid-range. Yeah. It wasn't even dual motor.
Oh, that's right.
And I remember rolling off the lot over at East Sahara, and she's next to me, and I accelerated the best I could, and I turned to her, and she had a very blank look on her face, and I said, was that exciting? And her face just lit up. Now, that mid-range car I still have, and if I accelerate in that car, I'm just kind of like, what was the big deal? Like at the time, it was so exciting.
Yeah.
And now when I try that car out, it's just like, wait, I got excited over that?
Well, because now you have the faster ones.
Right.
Do you have a Lucid in your...
Yeah, Lucid Air. I was an early reservation holder for the Air Pure, and then they called me up at some point.
You're OG in all of these.
Well, I missed out on Rivian. That's the one I'm bitter about. But
well, Lucid will be bankrupt. They sold like 1,200 cars in a year. Like they're not gonna do well.
I used to say I hope they go bankrupt because then I'll be one of the 7,000 people who have one.
Yes, you
And then
will.
it started to become real. I see people selling theirs, and now they're like selling for 60,000. I'm like, oh no.
Yeah, the price has gone way down.
Yeah.
But you have them. They're cool car. They're luxurious. They just can't get to scale. They can't tip. So, what happened with this second date girl? Did you? Are you still waiting for your Cybertruck to take it on a third date?
Well, long story short, she and I dated something like 3 months.
Yeah.
Broke up. I got with one who turned out to be what is it? OnlyFans.
Oh.
Yeah, she was on OnlyFans. And then the next one.
You didn't know that?
Well, I mean, I figured it out.
Did you find her on OnlyFans?
Yeah,
or?
yeah, yeah. Well, I think I searched her I think I searched something like her Instagram, and it led to something that was fishy. And I was like, oh. Now I'm.
Wait, you got the girl's name? You went on there and you put her name, and instead of finding her Instagram, you found out the OnlyFans account?
Well, I don't remember what all I found, but that's what I remember finding. That stood out in my
What's
mind.
her name?
Erica.
I'm just messing. Got it.
Got with another girl, and then went back to my ex, the first one that I went on a second date with, or I was describing the second date. So she and I were together for 2 years, and we broke up probably November.
You already had this business going.
I started the proof. I started working on the proof of concept for this business before her, but I bought my first Tesla with her. I want to say she went to almost every single purchase that I did for a long time. When
you bought your first Tesla, did you know you wanted to use it for Turo, or did you say like this is amazing and then you found out about Turo?
Robotaxi.
The
plan was always robotaxi.
Will, you're one of the few. I've never interviewed anybody that said the robotaxi. Like I just know it. I've been studying the company for over a decade now.
Well, here's what I'm sorry, go ahead.
I've been studying the company for over a decade, and I cannot wait for robotaxi, and I've had the FSD since 5 years ago, since it was crappy.
Yeah.
Since the boxes were on the car instead of the actual vehicle.
Almost all my cars have FSD.
On your fleet?
Yeah.
Awesome. Do people use it?
Well, that's an interesting question. I mean, sometimes people get really obsessed about it. If it gets suspended, because it gets suspended if you misbehave.
But you shouldn't.
They get really upset if the previous person got it suspended and now they have it and they can't have FSD, even though I'm advertising it, and I can't. You
can't do anything. Yeah. Do you penalize people? So for people who don't know what FSD is the full self-driving feature of Tesla, which it's supposed to it's on level 2, which means you still have to have your hands on the wheel, you still have to be watching the road, you still have to pay attention. Although the car does drive itself fully, like I've driven 30-45 minutes without a single intervention, not the accelerator, not the brake, not the turn signal, not anything for 45 minutes, but you still have to have your hands on the wheel. So that's what full self-driving is. It's $200 a month, or if you want to buy the whole thing, it's like $12,000 a year, which I personally don't recommend because you can't transfer it to the next vehicle. And when I found out, I was like, because this is my third Tesla.
Well, if you buy a used car, I want to say everyone, including Tesla, prices FSD at around, I don't know, $2,000-3,000. So if you
which
buy,
is terrible.
Yeah.
Because when I sold it,
yeah,
they wanted to buy my car for like 20 grand. I was like, I paid 15 for this thing alone.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
But anyway, so I want to focus on your growth trajectory. So you bought a car.
Yeah.
You said like one day I'm gonna use it as robotaxi.
So I reserved 3 Cybertrucks, and I said I'm gonna use those as robotaxi.
But you don't have a Cybertruck yet.
Yeah, right. No. And then eventually I bought my first Model 3, the mid-range I talked about before, and that was December. And then in January I ordered 2 more, and I think they said you're gonna get your Model Y in May, and you're gonna get your Model 3 in I think December.
Okay.
That was back when it was really hard to get a Tesla. And then something weird happened. In March, they said, come pick up your Teslas or you lose your reservation.
Oh, I remember that.
that. So suddenly here I am. I have one mid-range Model 3, and if everything goes south, I just got a nice car. I got a car, right?
Did you buy it with the idea of, I'm gonna substitute part of the money by renting it on Turo? Because I've had this idea for years, and the way that now you've executed it, you're exactly, you've taken action on something that I thought about for years.
So I met one other of us. His name is Justin. Shout out to Justin.
Justin, I gotta meet Justin.
So I bought 2 of his cars. So I viewed Turo as a bridge to get to robotaxi, because if your operating expenses are 10 grand, you got to do something with the cars, right? I viewed it as this announcement for robotaxi. I listened to Elon Musk over and over and over again during that announcement. I think in April 2019, and drank the Kool-Aid. I'm in. I'm doing this thing.
You did some research.
And my mission at that point, my instrumental mission to robotaxi was acquire as many Teslas as possible.
So are you of the belief, and this is gonna go like so much more deeper than most people, but so are you of the belief that the robotaxi is gonna be for Tesla owners versus Tesla keeping their own fleet? Because the announcement on August 8th is gonna announce the next platform. It could be that Tesla only wants to use it for their own platform, so they can keep them. They're gonna get them insured. They definitely, in my opinion, don't want to release it to guys like us because there's so much liability yet.
Yeah.
Eventually, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So, I like to think it will happen.
It will.
But I'm gonna answer the. Well, I hate doing this. I'm gonna answer your question in the way you didn't want me to. I already know what it's gonna look like, and what I mean is, I already own a fleet. I know what it takes to maintain one. So think of it this way. Every time a car goes out, it goes out for approximately 2.4 days. So that means when it's out, I don't think about it. Meaning there's battery drain, there's, where you got to park it. I don't think about that car. I don't have to clean it. When it comes back, I do, right? So if that car now is robotaxi, I got to charge it several times a day. I got to clean it maybe twice. And how much more money does it make? Now, I'll tell you that on Toro, if you're doing very well, you're making about $20,000 a year on the car.
Wow, that's amazing.
Elon Musk's projection is 30,000.
Yeah,
not that much higher,
but 50% more.
So you're doing something like twice or 3 times as much work for 50% more pay.
I see. So you're saying it's going to be more work, the robotaxi fleet, versus what the Turo platform right now offers.
Well, that was okay. So that was sort of like my wake up call. Like, I'm going to be the bringer of bad news and say it's not going to be like the dream. That it's not going to be the you just sit back and the money rolls in. It's not quite like that. It's going to be tough work to manage a fleet, manage a robotaxi fleet.
That's because you're seeing it as an operator, which you are an operator, an entrepreneur, a business owner. But the majority of people, let's say out of 1 million people that own a Tesla, there may be 5 of you guys, 10 of you guys that actually own and operate and do fleets. I myself, if it makes me a couple $100, if it makes me $500 while I'm asleep, or I go on a travel for a week and the car makes me money, that's how most people who own their Teslas are going to view it, as an income supplement to their stuff, not as the main source of their income. That
might make a lot more sense.
Mm-hmm.
Between you and me,
and everybody watching,
when we cross the regulatory hurdle, which will be the last one,
okay,
I might just sell
your vehicles.
Yeah.
And put it in the stock.
I don't know what I'm going to do next, but one thing Elon said is that it'll be too expensive to own a Tesla just to own a Tesla. Like, no one will just buy one just to have a Tesla.
It's because the cost per mile is going to be so cheap that the transportation is gonna people don't realize that the regular transportation, public transportation, including the Ubers and the Lyfts.
Well, he specified 1/3. He said it would cost about 1/3. Robotaxi will cost 1/3 of what Uber and Lyft charge.
Yeah, who's gonna go for that stuff? If you're always gonna get picked up in a Tesla, nice, beautiful, quiet ride. I've seen reviews. I've seen people's surveys. People sometimes want to get in the car and they don't want to really talk to the Uber driver, especially women. They want to feel safe, after a club night or whatnot. I actually drove myself Uber for 1.5 years. Some crazy stories, man. Some crazy stuff. And I know some people that just want to get down to business and get their stuff done. So those are the people that are probably gonna say, you know what, I'm not buying Uber or ordering a Lyft. I'm getting a robotaxi.
Well, I mean, I don't keep up with this as well as I used to. I used to just know all the facts. I could tell you what companies were sold for what to whom. I know that between Uber and Lyft, one of them attempted it and gave up. And when I say attempted it, they tried they tried to add autonomous driving, and they spent a lot of money on it, and then said, "We're out. We're not going to try it anymore."
Yeah, because to solve autonomy, you need data.
Yeah.
And who's got the data? Tesla.
Well, yeah, Tesla certainly has all the data. The only one that claims to be ahead of Tesla that I'm aware of is Waymo.
Yeah, but in no shape or form are they ahead of Tesla. They have the
I agree with
level
you.
4, but
I agree with you, but I'll point out they are collecting a fare today in Arizona.
But in I think different places too. Arizona, I think
Oh,
somewhere
yeah,
in San
yeah.
Francisco,
Right.
and but they're basically boxed in. These are cars that are
Yeah.
using radar and
Yep.
lidar
Yep.
and pre-HD mapping of the area, so that the cars can only go in the areas that have been pre-mapped previously. Literally pre-mapped.
Right. If you wanted if you want a million robotaxis out there, Waymo can't do that.
If you want massive scale in what we call, AGI, it has to be able to be taken from one spot and take you anywhere without having to, have little training wheels.
Yeah.
So tell me about, like, you start with one car, you started making money, and then you said, you know what, I want to get a few more.
So yeah, started with the one car, and then I want to say January, February, which I learned down the road. January and February are the worst months to rent cars in Las Vegas.
January, because it's cold?
Everybody just did Christmas, so they spent money. Everybody partied, so they did New Year's Eve, and it's too cold. And school just started. There's a variety of reasons why renting cars in Vegas is tough in January and February.
January, okay. Even with the people visiting, I want to film these guys who are here. What up? You guys want to be in the podcast? This always happens, Will. That's what it's cool about the... Yeah, I get it. That's what's cool about... Oh, shit. Yeah, that guy is wild. What's cool about the driving and doing the podcast on the strip is that the strip becomes its own character. One time there was a guy in a bicycle and grabbed onto my car and then just started riding with me on one wheel. Like, just crazy shit happens.
Huh. So yeah, I get it in December, put it on Toro January, February. It does just okay. Like, I want to say not actually profitable. It was like supporting itself. And so they said, come pick up your two cars.
Okay.
Now, before, when it was one car, it's if this falls apart, I just got a car, right? Now I have a Model Y and a Model 3, both brand new. Which, I mean, I know millionaires that say never buy a new car. So I have two brand new cars. I go to Tesla to pick them up, and I remember I had a moment with the Model Y in my garage. I sort of felt like I was not dealing with a thing. I was dealing with, like, what was Westworld? Have you seen Westworld?
Yeah.
I think it's the most recent iteration of it. The protagonist he's like something like construction worker or something like that, and he has a robot that helps him out with construction, and he sort of treats it like not quite a thing. I felt a little bit like that about my Model Y. Like, look, your fate is the same as mine. If this car goes down,
we both go down together.
Yeah, I just said to myself, this can't fail. Like, I went from, if it fails and I got one car, I got a car, to, oh, this can't fail.
This must happen.
Now,
like, I make this work.
Yeah.
That's awesome. And so, did it work? Like, how did it,
yeah, I mean, it's, I don't know where to begin. Like, cars getting into wrecks.
That's happened?
Yes, that blue Model 3 that you were talking to earlier, spin in a shootout.
What?
Yeah.
You saw bullet holes in your car?
No, it didn't get shot, but I had to pick it up from the police impound. Police served me a warrant. They wanted the flash so they could view the footage.
Do you put cameras in all yours?
Yeah. Well, not extra cameras.
No, but do people mess with it? Do they want to remove some of the stuff?
All the time. I mean,
because we can track the cars. So do they go outside of the Las Vegas? And
yeah,
they,
yeah. Well, I mean, one thing I found out the hard way is, even if you put it in valet mode, someone can still delete all your dash cam footage on Tesla. I think that's something they should probably fix.
So what's the valet mode? I've never even used that.
Oh, it makes it so you can't. So let's say, for example, looking up your history.
Yeah.
You can't see places you've been. You can't. What else? If you have like a performance Model 3, it puts it in chill mode.
So
I think it puts.
Okay.
I think it puts the speed limit at 75 or 85.
Okay.
So
it puts some restrictions.
It puts a lot of restrictions, but not for dash cam footage. You can still pull the dash cam footage and delete it.
What dash cam footage is it using? Is it using the dash cam cameras that are built into the Tesla, or you put your own additional stuff?
Yeah, I have not put my own additional. I thought about putting my own additional cameras in the older S's.
Why is that?
Because the cameras in there, like, I can't. Well, I can, like, you can view your cameras remotely when you're at home. You can see what's going on with your car.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah.
Even without installing anything, like from my app?
Yeah.
What?
You really didn't know this?
No.
Sentry mode.
I've just never used Sentry mode. I've never gotten into an accident, even though my car has been wrecked a couple of times by people who... See, like this, look, that's ridiculousness.
Yeah,
Hold
the
on.
Zoox.
Okay.
Zoox is owned by Amazon.
Let's talk about this ridiculousness. So we're talking about full self-driving, how my car drives itself, and then we have this car. Now, the sensors on that car, on the Zoox, you said it's owned by Amazon?
Zoox was bought by Amazon.
Was bought by Amazon. Oh, the car just blocked me.
Yeah.
But those ridiculous like fucking sensors and cameras are so expensive and they're just not scalable.
On this topic, I wish I remember. The most common thing people say to me when I talk about autonomous driving in robotaxi is, "Oh, not in our time. That's not going to happen."
People are completely unaware.
There are over 70 companies working on autonomous driving right now. They were about to go out of business, and Jeff Bezos bought them. I don't remember what he paid, but it was exorbitant, and I'm going to... I don't know what. I'm going to go and say he did not buy Zoox so that his grandchildren could benefit from it. That's not the kind of decisions that someone like him makes.
When do you think robotaxis will happen? I mean, literally, that's a question that really...
Yeah.
In the present time, there's already fares that are being collected through robotaxis. But when do you think it will be the normal thing to not drive?
I don't know how long of an answer you want me to give.
give me a short and then give me the why.
Okay. The short answer is 5 to 10.
Perfect.
Years?
I'm right with you.
Here and here's the disaster scenario. The disaster scenario is the regulators never say conclusively that autonomous driving is safer than humans, and the transition occurs by removing humans from the road and putting robots on the road. That's the disaster scenario. We want to be able to show that the cars can drive on the road with humans with vision, using the same things that we use, the same tools that we use, and we can all drive on the road together. Yeah,
the cameras are essentially a synthetic neural system, which is, we have our own neural system through our eyes, except we don't have eyes in the back, eyes on the side, eyes everything.
Speak for yourself.
So these, so these cameras can see a lot more than we can see. They don't fall asleep, they don't check their phone, they don't drive drunk, they don't get tired, they're not fighting with their spouse, they're not, you know, kids are not, you know, distracting them. They just drive, and they drive safer. And this new 12.3, you know, full self-driving is incredible.
Yeah, you tried it.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I'm not doing it right now because I'm gonna pull out for us. I'm gonna be adding a couple like lights. I have them in the trunk, so I'll just pull them out.
I would like to ask you about YouTube at some point. I mean,
for sure.
Maybe not right now, but I mean, whenever you think is right. Like the guy I work with, the one you met, we want to start our own channel.
Okay, so I'll be happy to kind of consult you guys on marketing.
Well, here's what we thought about it. Maybe you've seen people that are doing FSD on the road, and they're you know
all the
instead
time.
He and I are going to be like just trash talking in the car, or like saying good work, or you know, we're going to be the guys that are undisciplined and you know, not just guys that are just sitting there commenting as it goes, like, oh, that was a good turn.
You're gonna be
mean
like, to the FSD?
What the fuck?
But it doesn't make that many mistakes.
Which means we get that much more upset when it does.
Yeah, that's right.
But I don't know if that's gonna be it, but it was something we just, you know.
Listen, reacting to something that's new, it's amazing. Like, people don't realize. Like, I keep telling my wife, I was like, get it, right now it's free, use it. She's like, well, I'm not really sure. I was like, you know what, like, at one point I'm gonna make you do it only because it's safer. It's like the seatbelt. At some point, and we'll get back to that data point, at some point, the regulators, in my opinion, will be forced almost, because of the overwhelming evidence of how much safer it is, that they will have to pass you know, this full self-drive because it saves that many lives. Because it would be now, it would actually be unsafe, or less safe, I should say, to drive as a human. And the data will show that. And I think at that point, the scales will tip, and your Tesla stock, my friend.
I got out completely. I'm out.
Did you?
I don't even have. I don't even.
Oh my God.
I don't even have Bitcoin. I have
You
some.
are hurting me.
I have some Demo. Shout out to Demo.
Shout out to you. Bitcoin is good, but when did you get out of Tesla and why?
Oh, I mean, as I said before, like just got stressed out and decided I'm gonna. It's kind of like, you know, some people invest in Bitcoin and just watch the numbers go up, and others are actual miners. So I mine for Demo. In fact, I cashed in on 20,000 recently.
Nice.
So
you're mining. So you're very similar to the likes of me, of the things that I do and I like, and very few people. But I'll tell you this, obviously, not financial advice, but right now Tesla is at the same price that it was 3 years ago. Yet the company's revenue has 3x, has 2x the fleet, has twice as many vehicles. FSD is incredible. Everything about the company has exploded, and the price is the same as 3 years ago. So if you sold 3 years ago, bro, you're like at the time to get back in it and ride this wave up.
Well, here's what I need to do. I'll go ahead and make some account, put some money in, and then I give someone else. I give you the password.
Oh, because you have a problem checking.
I can't stop myself from looking.
You're a trader. You're as in trading, not as in a trader. You can't be going on in and out. Like, go in, stay in, make your mullah. Like, I look at it, and sometimes I lose fucking 20,000 in a day, 30,000 a day. Sometimes I'm up $500. Like, and it's like, I have to be emotionally detached to the money so that, you know, so that I can continue to see it, because I have a long-term 2030. I was like, at 2030, I'll reevaluate my position, and then I'll realize, you know, I'll either increase it, take some profits. You have no idea how many times people have told me, like, sell, take profits, move it. I was like, I'm just staying in. Like, you know, it's going to zero. It might go to zero. I don't know, but I'm riding it. Yeah,
I mean, I do sort of, like, listening to you talk about it, I sort of miss it a little bit, like just checking. Is it possible for me to just check once a week? I don't know. We'll see. I mean, here's what I know. I'm what you might describe as distractible but redirectable. You know what I mean by that?
Explain.
Well, I'm distractible. I see shiny things and I just start wandering towards it.
Okay.
And then if you say, tap me on the shoulder, hey, well, I come back. That's not what we're doing. We gotta let's stay on the road.
Listen, you and I will talk. I'll just be like, let's check it together, but we're not making any changes. Doesn't matter if it's up. Doesn't matter if it's down. We just watch it ride. And I get excited and I see it, but I definitely, because I'm only on a buying pattern. In fact, I consistently buy on a weekly basis. I buy. I don't care what the price is. Like, it could be up, and like, fuck, I bought it at 200. Oh shit, you know, it went down to 160.
Well, how do you decide?
I continue to buy. There's no decision. There's one decision: buy, and the second, hold.
Well, in 2022, I bought 5 Teslas, and if you bought a Model Y today, you would owe less on your Model Y than I do on the one I bought in 2022. So
that's because they brought the price down of the vehicles, which you would know that in the master plan, they literally say, hey, our goal is to reduce the pricing of the vehicles. I'm gonna pull into this parking lot. Where's the entrance? Shit, did they close it? They literally say, like, you know, we're gonna lower down the price of the cars. That's the goal. And so people that bought it at 60, like a Model Y 65, and then now you can get it for under 40. People are like enraged. Yeah. But I knew this was coming. Like, he literally put it on a paper, said, hey, this is what's coming. Buying a car, making it cheaper. Doing that, buying the next car, making it cheaper. And now we know that a car that's a lot cheaper is gonna be coming out. Right.
Well, when prices dropped in 2023, the other Tesla people that I knew just got mad, as you just described. I bought 7 Teslas.
So you got fucked by the price of the vehicles going down.
Well, sure, but I don't think of it that way. I mean, yes. I paid a price that, if I waited, I would have gotten a better price. But what would I have done in that time? Like, I made money. Yeah. I built a business. It's working. You know, I'm reliably informed on what I'm doing now.
You bought 7 cars at the same time, 7 Teslas.
No. It was over. Towards the beginning of the year. This is a silly question. Did you notice that I got a haircut?
I did, and you also trimmed down over here.
For you.
For me and the 7 people watching this. That's nice. Well, wait, didn't you have an event that you were doing? Like, was there not an additional thing, or was it really for me?
No. I mean, day to day, I look homeless. So
why?
You know, letting the hair go. Oh, I mean, look, my beard is got it. December was bad.
Bro, why don't you fucking trim it properly? Like,
well, it is now.
Yeah. Like, well, I remember when I saw you, like, first time it was more like longer and everything.
Yeah.
You still have some, you know, sticking out a little bit, you know.
And I wasn't doing it because it looked good. I was doing it because I was too busy hustling.
You are.
So I justified it.
I picked you up and you were like hand toweling, you know, your cars. It's your business. It's your baby.
However, sometimes you need to be presentable. I mean, and I probably need to get closer to that side of it.
So each vehicle makes around 20K.
If it did really well. If it goes down for repairs, it probably won't. It'll probably be more like 15 to 18 that year.
Got it. And this is consistently, even throughout the pandemic years, you still made around that money.
No, I would say over time it has gotten worse. I would say,
really?
look, so yeah, I would say like last year, I would say Performance Model 3 go out for like over 90 a day. These days it might go out for 55.
Wow, $55 a day?
And it's because Toro is taking so much more.
That's insane. I mean, that's better than any Hertz can offer you for a Honda.
Well, yeah, you have to take a look at how much Toro is taking. There was one time I just was talking to a guy who booked one of my Models S, and because we were getting familiar, I said, "How much did you pay for this?" Because he had it for one day. I think he said $225, and I looked at my receipt, and I was getting, I think, 62.
So you don't know what Turo is charging the customer?
Not unless I asked them.
When you place it on the platform, you say, I want to rent it for $99. That means you are getting $99, or Turo then ups it up to whatever they want to the customer.
So whatever my asking rate is, that's my rate minus based on my insurance plan, which is going to be somewhere between, is it 60 or 65? I think 60 and 90. 60 to 90%, meaning I'm on the 90 plan, so I keep 90% of what I put on my asking rate. So if I say I want $100 for this car, I'm going to get 90. If I have the maximum insurance plan, then I would get 60. I've tried the 60 plan. I just wasn't going to make any money.
Have you ever had to use the Turo insurance?
Yeah, I think I have right now 3 cars that are being repaired.
What did they do?
Oh,
tell me some stories.
I don't know how much I want to.
Yeah, tell me some stories.
Okay, so I am, well, okay, what's a good story?
Oh shit, this guy.
I don't know if I have a good story. They're all bad stories. There was an instance where, I probably shouldn't talk about that.
You gotta talk about it when you say you don't want to talk about it.
Yeah, well, there was a time where the damage was, what, I don't know, 12,000.
What?
And they just didn't cover it.
What did they do?
They said, your fault.
No, what did they do to the car that's $12,000 worth of damage?
Oh, I don't want to talk about that. Because I might be taking some action about it.
Okay.
Yeah, so it's tough. It's tough with them because, first of all, it's not actual insurance, I guess. They call it a protection plan.
So this is why you prefer to take the 90%
of
the money, because the insurance is not as great.
But I think a lot of people just have it in their head that like insurance companies are charitable organizations. No, insurance companies are there to extract money from you. And the more you use them, the more they're extracting from you. I've heard something that I repeat sometimes. I just want to say that I don't have the actual facts or numbers, but I've heard. So Tesla insurance does not operate in all 50 states. They sell cars in all 50 states. If
they do have Tesla insurance in Nevada.
Yeah, yep. I heard that if Tesla was able to sell insurance in all 50 states, Tesla would stand to make more money on insurance than they do selling cars.
It's a very definite possibility, and it's a stream of income that if you ask 99 people out of 100 right here, did you know Tesla has Tesla insurance? It's big now. And even Tesla owners, I want to say 50% of them don't know that the Tesla has insurance. I've told friends about how I have Tesla insurance. They're like, I drive a Tesla. It's like, I didn't even know. So yeah, you're right. And I think by the time robotaxi comes along, that's when they're gonna take the liability with using their own insurance.
Yeah. That's one thing. You know, no, most insurance companies will not want to get on board with that. I think you're gonna have to get Tesla
That's why
insurance.
they have their own insurance.
Yeah.
Brilliant.
So for that reason and some others, I predict probably California will be there. That's not that. I took the spicy opinion that, you know, where the most Teslas are is where it's gonna start.
You think
first.
California will start?
Oh yeah. I think it'll start.
I think it'll start here before it starts in California.
Right, it could, because the regulators do seem very friendly.
Because California
we see them all over
sucks.
the place. Yeah.
Yeah, and because this state is very fond of Elon Musk, that's why they took the boring tunnel from California.
Yeah.
They're already allowing the insurance. And California has like so many regulations and red tape and just fucking garbage, you know. Just the state sucks now. It's so sad because I lived there for 20 years and it was beautiful, and I just saw the decline, and it's sad. So hopefully one day it'll resurrect, but right now,
I mean, I'm from California, but I kind of don't say that anymore. Like when I go back to California, because all my family's still there, like I don't identify with anything there. I mean, when someone asks where you're from, and I just say California as a reaction, I sort of think to myself, am I? I think it was a different place when I grew up there.
The first thing I did when I moved to Las Vegas was get a Nevada driver's license and change my license plate. I didn't want to be seen as the California resident that's moving in here, raising the rents, you know, all this stuff. Yeah, it's no secret that I don't like, you know, what was going on over there. Where?
Mm-hmm.
I lived in San Diego, then I lived in LA. So San Diego for 12 years, LA for 8 years, Las Vegas for the last 3. And it's amazing. I love Las Vegas. Like, this conversation could not happen. We would be stuck in the 405.
Yeah. I have actually right now, I've lived in Las Vegas longer here than anywhere else in the world. And I've been everywhere in the world.
So this is your town. This is your town.
I guess.
Do you think people are having sex in your Teslas?
Oh, geez. I think about that, and I just I don't want to think about it.
Come on, like,
yes.
People are renting the X. Yeah.
Yes. Oh,
nice.
The X. If it's a 6-seater, I'm worried. Yeah.
Come on, like the X. Yeah.
Maybe I don't know who's watching this, but the 6-seater is just set up for.
It's meant for that, right?
Look, go into a 6-seater and just take a look around and kind of get a sense of who designed this. What were they thinking? Yeah,
it is for that. Yeah. Well, they might say it's for camping, you know, for room for people back there, but no, it's meant for.
it would be horrible for camping. You can't even lay it all flat. You can't get a bed out of it.
It's meant for sex.
Yeah.
Yeah. So.
And not in traditional positions either.
So have you ever found like any like panties, any like, you know, condoms, anything in the car?
Yeah.
Or the people are like, I don't give a fuck, I'm just gonna.
Yeah. I mean, I think if there was a competition, I think I actually could almost win. Who on Toro had the worst car come back? I mean, you can. I saw pictures. Maybe I'll show you a video. I mean, if you want. I mean, just things I don't know what that's for. What happened here?
Oh, you're talking about like you saw like some like instruments and shit. Some
well, so I actually
weird sex. I
repossessed a car. Actually, earlier today I repossessed a car. So sometimes if a guest is doing things I don't like, I'll just go take my car back.
But you don't know until you get it back.
Sorry?
You don't know if they're doing wrong things until you get it back.
Well. No, I can infer a lot. Like, one time a guy was like texting me just the weirdest things. He said he was like a high school teacher, and he said that his wife was pregnant, and he had to extend so that he could make it there. And then next thing you know, she had a miscarriage like an hour later or something.
What?
I mean, complete lie. Like, you know, I ended up like guns and drugs were in the car when I.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So people do shady shit.
Oh yes.
So. how do you protect yourself against that? Like, you have to count those things into the business plan, that this is for sure is going to happen. We're in Las Vegas, people are gonna rent a car and they're gonna drive fast, they're gonna drive drunk, they're gonna have sex, they're gonna have drugs in the car, and then they're gonna dump it.
I have guns. Well, actually, I should watch myself because I go to trial and they I'm very aware of this. I'm very aware of the fact that everyone who has booked a car with me knows where my cars are. So I have to remember that they have a way to get back at me that I can't do much about.
Right.
So yeah, and as the fleet gets larger, eventually I'd like to get really good security, fence around them, things like that. I don't know. Do
you rate the passengers as well on Turo?
Yeah.
And do you decline, be like, yeah, this guy, so these people look, they got 2 stars, I'm not gonna accept them on my ride?
I've never actually done that.
Okay.
There was one time I almost did, and it would have been a horrible mistake because she turned out to be a really good person. But I saw her picture on her profile, and I intuitively I said, something's wrong here. This is fraud.
Because what, she looked too good or too bad or too what?
Too good.
So she was like an OnlyFans girl? Is this the ex-girlfriend again?
No. And it turned out she's just great person. So I feel like an asshole for
Okay, so she looks super hot. You're like, dude, this is not. This is a scammer. This is a scammer account.
There was something about it, yeah. And there were also the messages she sent me. But eventually I was like, I'm too suspicious. I gotta give people the benefit of the doubt.
Yeah, well, you've also gotten, shady stuff happen in your cars. So, does the Lucid get rented out?
Well, not in recent past. It was somewhat disappointing putting the Lucid on. So I was the first to put a Lucid on Turo in Las Vegas. Someone else followed behind me. He only got 1 booking ever, and it was because I sent that person there to his way. So the car had an issue. Some sensor in the battery went off and said, there's some sensor that's responsible for finding problems in the battery pack. Went off and everything just shut down. I had to cancel the next 2 trips. Wow. And one of them wrote to me and said, the whole point of coming to Vegas was to drive your car. So I redirected that person to the other Lucid owner.
I see. So they really just wanted to drive a Lucid. So right now in Las Vegas, if I want to go on Turo and want to get a Lucid, it's just you and this other guy? Just
right now it's nobody. So they actually restricted my car, and I decided I'm just not putting it back on.
Why did they restrict it?
Reasons I don't want to go into, but I'm rather bitter about it. And if you want to restrict my Lucid, then fine. I just won't put it back on. So I've got other plans.
Do you, when you're driving around, can you recognize which car is yours?
The most common way for that to happen is I'm on my cell phone and suddenly I just lose audio. And it's because it got transferred to a different Tesla.
Oh, that's cool. And all of a sudden the Bluetooth connects to that?
Unsurprisingly, it happens at charging stations most often.
So you're connected. So is there a charging station where you charge them? Do you do these at home? I mean, where do you have all these cars running around, and how do you keep the logistics of 15 cars, rentals? Walk me through the business.
Well, okay. So the location you found me at, I've only been there for less than 2 months.
And you're just renting 4 parking spots in a parking lot?
Yeah, well, 4 of the designated spots are mine. And
the rest are open to the public?
From the person that I lease it from, I believe he said 20 cars, 20 spots.
But overnight, is there a place where you put them locked, or you just leave them at that open air lot?
I just leave them in the open area. I mean, I have security cameras, plus they have their own security.
Got it. Yeah, just like a car, regular car.
I mean, I would like to put in my own, like, I don't know, fence or something.
Right.
In terms of charging, I've actually asked some questions recently if I can install chargers there, where my cars would charge at night, and the other people in the area would have the ability to charge there also. If you set up six Tesla wall connectors and you follow other requirements by Tesla, they'll actually put you on the map. So if you come in here, you go to charging, and you do the one lightning bolt. Oops. Let's go back.
Yeah.
And you do the one lightning bolt.
What you're doing so people
Okay,
can see
I'll
it.
start from the beginning. So,
all right. So now you're
okay,
going to the.
So I go into
bolt.
navigation.
Yep.
And then I go to charging.
Yep.
There's 1 and 3 lightning bolts. So 3 is for superchargers.
Right.
1 is for destination chargers. So let's take it off superchargers. And these chargers are level 2 chargers that take something like 6 to 8 hours to charge. So it's something you would do either overnight or while you're at work.
Like the ones that people like me have at their house.
Yes, yes,
The
same
wall
ones.
chargers, yeah.
And I would put 6 in a row where people that also work in the same office park would be able to charge there. I get to decide how much I charge, and it's
Really?
it's on Tesla's map.
So you buy these for $400, whatever they are on the
Well, I got
Tesla
2 of
wall.
them from referrals.
What is it?
You know when you
Oh,
first
so
start-
you already got them, 2 of them already approved
yeah,
for all
in
the
fact,
referrals?
once I got 2, Tesla actually turned it off and made it so I can't get any more.
Because they know you're referring a lot. Okay, so you can get 2. Those are free. You buy 4 more. You'll install them, but who pays for the electricity?
Here's something I learned recently. So here in Nevada, you're a resident, you pay something like 13 or 14 cents a kilowatt.
Mm-hmm.
If you have commercial electricity, you pay more like 9 to 11.
Okay.
So you actually pay less if you're commercial.
But do they charge you at the parking lot? Look at that car. So this is what right now in Vegas is a robotaxi, quote unquote. Look at those silly cameras, all these extra instruments, all those sensors in the back.
Cost prohibitive.
It is just a terrible model. Sorry. And there's still a driver.
I think that guy was wearing a suit.
So yeah, he works for them and he picks people up and shit. So it is cheaper, but somebody's paying the electricity and it's gotta get an electrician installed and all that. So is that the parking lot, the
Well, I mean that's something I have to work out with the property managers. And I mean I'm happy to pay for the electricity.
Yeah, and what's cool is that you can actually see how much electricity you're taking because each car will be able to show.
Well, what it would add would be just incredible convenience. You know, car returns. There's a minimum 2-hour buffer before it can go back out.
And you
so
charge it right
plug
there.
it in, and if someone books it, 2 hours from then I just drive to a supercharger, which is there's 2 of them very close, car wash across the street.
Difference from like a regular car rental, what most people are familiar, like do you require people to bring you the car with at least 80% of the battery, or how does that work?
So I conform with Toro policy, which is I provide a car with at least 80% and they return with at least 80%. Sometimes people, they are upset and I don't find out till the end of their trip and they said, well, why didn't you charge it all the way? As a adjacent topic, I always ask everyone, have they driven a Tesla before? I want to say when I started, it was about 80% and now it's about 70%. So it's sort of like a wave I'm riding. It's the people that are curious about electric vehicles and Teslas that I'm mostly getting. And in fact, at rental car conferences, they're actually saying the key to getting people to rent your car is driver education. If they think they can learn something from you, they'll rent a car from you.
Are you there every time someone picks up a car?
No.
Like, what is the logistics? Walk me through the logistics of having all these cars. What platform do you use? How do people, manage the washing, the cleaning, the charging, which vehicle, all of that?
I've been on a couple different platforms. I don't want to name either of them.
You can, I'll just bleep them. Just tell me, I'll bleep them.
Well, okay. So I've been on both of those. Tesla Rents is a national company.
And they do what? It's for logistics purposes?
So they sort of like facilitate so Toro sort of facilitates everything. They perform the marketing, enforcement, and insurance. That's essentially the 3 things that Toro does for you.
Okay.
Marketing, insurance, and enforcement. By enforcement, I mean
it's a platform, yeah.
Yeah. So Tesla Rents was doing essentially the same thing. Las Vegas Tesla's sort of same thing. They're trying to get everyone to be investors and just to give them the cars, and they take care of everything.
I see.
And I mean, I do a little, not everything, but so I think of the fleet, 11 are mine, and right now until recently, I want to say there's like 5 more that weren't mine. Now there's four that aren't mine. So yeah.
Let's get to the pricing of all these vehicles. So let's start with the least expensive. What is a regular Model 3 regular range? Like, what does a Model 3 rent for on Turo?
So my rate would be something like $54 to maybe $80.
What about a Model 3 Sports, like the...
Oh, yeah, okay. So I actually only have one rear-wheel drive Model 3.
Okay.
Everything else has at least 2 motors.
Got it. So you have the dual motor. Okay.
So I actually have like a shortage of the, you know, the basic Teslas.
Do you rent it for the same cost?
No. So I have one particular car. I think it is my best performing car. It's a black Model 3. This is actually strange. So the Model Y was the most popular car of last year, which is to say it was more Models Y were purchased than any other car
in the world.
Well, certainly for the United States. I don't actually know about the world.
It was.
Maybe. Oh, was it?
2023, yeah.
Okay. So that is the most popular car. I have one, a red 2023 Model Y.
Nice.
That is my second best performing car. The best performing car is a 2018 Model 3.
Black. Is it because it's got a lot of ratings and stars that most people want to go after it now?
It absolutely does. But there's something weird about the 2023 Y, the red one. People get emotionally attached to that car. I've had someone ask me how the car is doing, and I told them the windshield got cracked and I had to replace it. And he actually was like, oh, it was like he got mad.
It was like he was attacked. Like he was. Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
So the Model 3, 55 to 80 bucks. What does the Model Y rent for?
So when I started, like 130.
Okay.
125.
What about your Model X?
These days 70 to 80.
70 to 80
Yeah.
now. Wow. What about your Model X?
There's actually an interesting reason for that. If I could just explain really quick.
Yeah.
The Model Y, when Tesla used to not do test drives, right? So if you wanted to test drive a Tesla, you kind of had to go to Toro. The Model Y just came out. Nobody knew anything about it, and so there weren't many in existence. So people were paying a lot of money to rent a Model Y when I first got on.
Because they wanted to try it. It was the first crossover, you know, SUV by Tesla on the same Model 3 platform.
So an X, there's weird things going on with the X. Now, first of all, the price. No Tesla has experienced a price drop more than the Model X. When I first was shopping for Model X, you couldn't touch one for less than 50,000. These days, you can't find one for more than 50,000 unless it's, you know, maybe 2 years old.
What, to buy a Model X?
Yeah.
Aren't they starting like at 90,000, or did they just drop?
They started 80.
Okay.
Just under the
that's right. So, okay.
Yeah, EV tax credit limit for pickups and SUVs.
Plus, it's a 6,000-pound car, which means you can take all the deductions in under
right. 179. The 179 scan.
Well, you know, I like where your mind is. You understand this. Very few people understand. Like, I didn't even want to get there, but that's right. He's absolutely right. Any vehicle that's over 6,000 pounds, you can deduct it on the tax code 179. Everything, 100% of the vehicle in the first year. So, not an accountant. Talk to your accountants, but that's a fact. So I thought about like buying, and this is how my idea was, like, I'll just buy an X, I'll expense 100% of it, I'll use it, and this happened. And then at that point I was like, well, I already got a Model 3 coming, I already have the Cybertruck, you know, in the waiting, and you know, I just never pulled the trigger with the Model X, and I always wanted to do Model X on Turo. And I'm so glad that I'm hearing from you that that was probably the worst car to start with.
Oh. Not true. Something is weird going on with the X. So again, it has experienced the greatest price drop of any Tesla. It also books like dollar for dollar. If we're talking ROI, you're probably getting the most out of an X.
Oh, so the X. So what does the X rent for?
I've seen some crazy prices, like a 2017 X going out for $145 a day. And you can buy that same X for $30,000.
Wow.
And then you can pay more money for a 3 and make less money on Toro.
How many days a month does a car get booked?
Well, 20 to 25, you know.
You rented 20 or 25 days out of the month?
Okay, so...
Wow.
I want to say, right now it's in the shop, but my 2017 P100D. Sometimes, I mean, you just see it booked, like all next month, it's just booked out.
That's the Model S.
No, X.
Model X.
And sometimes what it, well, here's how you do it. I mean, I'm giving away some secrets here. Well, people are going to laugh at me for saying secrets. So if you got a booking that ends at like 10 a.m. and then another one that starts at like, say, 11 p.m., you've got a gap now. You can do nothing with it, or you can price that car at $50. Somebody's going to grab it.
For that day.
Yeah.
And then you tell them, but you have to be returned before 11 p.m.
Yeah. Yeah.
Got it. So you add an additional bump by just allowing it to be open.
When someone searches for the car, they're parameterizing their search based off of this short period of time. So you don't even tell them that. They already planned on bringing the car back early. You see what I mean?
They're already searching for that specific thing.
Yeah. They want a car right now for the next 6 hours, and they're going to come right back, and they're done. So it's as if they were never aware of this, you know, reduction.
That someone used it before, and then someone used it after.
Yeah.
When you're renting these, like a Model X is an amazing thing. Like, do you ever see people like doing crazy things with their doors and then just filming or breaking the doors, testing them?
Well, yes. I didn't see it, but someone told me someone was sitting on the hood as they were driving away.
What?
And I wasn't sure what to do. Like, I was beginning to learn that the more I get involved, the worse things tend to get. Sometimes it's better if I just
step away.
Let them have their fun.
Step away.
Yeah, sometimes it is better to do that. And when I heard that, that was kind of when I told myself, look, when you get involved, sometimes it just is it doesn't go right. Now, when I got the car back, it did not have any damage. I checked very closely for that.
Okay, that's good.
And I sent the guy a message. I said, hey man, how's it going? Heard from security. I didn't. That's what I said. They got some footage of you with your friend driving away on the hood. Do me a favor, be careful. Now, because I was cool, they were very apologetic, and they were, you know, very much like, sorry we did that, we won't do it again, blah, blah. Now, was it actually better? I think so. I think so. But, I don't know. You also can't be a pushover. You know, I don't know.
Other than do you have a Polestar?
I do not. So Polestars are overpriced. Here's what you see. You see a Polestar going out selling for $55,000. You see a BMW i4 going for $55,000. They roll off the lot. The BMW is now worth like $52,000, and the Polestar is worth like $35,000. Wow,
the price drop is insane.
Yeah,
but the Polestars look cool.
Yeah, I like them a lot, and the thing is, you buy the dip, right?
You're doing it for a business, so if you're a consumer and you're watching this, you're trying to buy a vehicle, it's a very different conversation versus, hey, I may need to buy a 2019 Model S that's got, you know, 200,000 miles already, because that's gonna bring me all this money. Because when you're renting a car, the person doesn't care if it's got 5 miles or if it's got, you know, 200,000 miles, right? Like they're just renting it to use it.
I mean, I always ask the question. I always ask like why did you pick me over everybody else? I sometimes get interesting answers. Like one answer I get that I'm sure is like kind of wrong is people almost always say the color of the car had nothing to do with it. Now, having said that, I know it does, because the black Model 3 and the white Model 3, like those are always booked. Black cars and white cars by far have the highest utilization.
With black interiors or white interiors?
White interior, much better.
For rental?
Yes.
Or for stains? Well,
so when I first got involved with this, I immediately said all black interiors, because they'd be too hard to clean.
Yep.
Turns out it's not that bad. I mean, it is, you do have to work harder, but it's, I think, worth it. People really do like buying the white interiors, and frankly, I just kind of like it too.
You've seen my Tesla. You've seen the cool colors. You see how it changes.
Yeah.
You spot my car in the past before. You've seen
who is that guy?
Yeah, that's funny how we ended up running into each other. How much do you think I could put this car on Turo and would, knowing that it's a dual motor, it's a 2023, it's wrapped, you know, what can I get for this car?
Interesting. So I have actually found putting a wrap on it does not help that much, and in some ways hurts. Now,
I don't like that answer.
when the wrap gets old, well, okay, when the wrap has been rented out a lot, it gets a lot of wear, and people really notice this. And in fact, like, this does not happen to me because I have not wrapped any of my cars. Well, that's not true. I have actually. I see a lot of negative reviews. Like you find certain cars that have wraps on it, and just a long list of negative reviews saying the wrap, the pictures presented, the wrap is worn, doesn't look like that.
That's not how I look.
Yeah.
But based on how my car looks right now, which is pristine.
Yeah. Yeah.
Could I get $80 from it, $100 a day?
Here's what I think. Okay. You also have to ask yourself, what are you trying to do? Now, I'm going to go and say yes. That I think that is what you should do, and the reason why is because this is your car. You want to use it. Wow,
that's loud, bro. That's going away with the EVs.
Yeah.
And you can smell. So there's a big motorcycle behind us. Is it a motorcycle? Oh shit, no. Did you see the kind of car that is? Look, the camera. Hold on, let me show you.
Motorcycle.
Guys. Yeah, I thought it was a motorcycle, but this is actually the car that's making the sound behind us. What the hell is that? Does that have a US flag on it? Oh my god.
So what you could do is price the car very low, and it'll get high utilization. You could do that. That
and low would be what? That's $60?
Yeah, well, yeah, 65 would be kind of low. 60 would be very low.
See my screensaver?
Nice. Yeah.
I got the Cybertruck screensaver.
Or you could price it at say 80, 85. Now, what is that? What happens? Overall, you're going to make less money, but you're going to have a car more often. And you probably like your car. You probably want to use it.
I travel a lot.
Uh-huh.
So let's say I'm out of the month, 10 days out of the month, I'm not in the city. So my car is just collecting dust in my driveway. If I wanted to put it in a platform or give it to you, be like, you know what? Rent this guy out, you know. Do you think we can make some business?
Yes.
Nice.
I mean, I have 3 investors. Well, total I've had, I think, 4 or 5 investors. Meaning people that they buy a car and they give it to me, and I make money with it. They get cash flow, I get cash flow, everybody
How
wins.
much money are they making per car?
Hundreds per month.
Got it. And who pays for the car payment? The owners or you?
So there's a number of different ways to work it out. We could call it a flat rate, right? It's as though you're leasing it to me. Like every month you just give me this money, right? As a guarantee. Or we split the profits half and half. Most people split. That
means they pay it, you rent it, and you both go 50-50.
Yeah. Well, actually, no. Sorry. So generally speaking, I take 30%. There's instances where I will take less.
Well, 30% makes sense because you're putting in a platform that's already existing, and you're not taking any of the risk, and you're not losing the money on the vehicle, and the vehicle keeps losing value over time.
Yeah.
So that makes sense. 30% to you that basically zero risk. You only have an upside.
Yes, almost only. There's some things I cover for you. I'll cover your insurance.
Yep, but
I'll cover all your charging. So say for example.
But it's coming out of the profit that's coming, right?
No, I just cover it.
Okay.
And the insurance, I just cover it. Like it doesn't come out of it doesn't come out of the split. If we're using Toro, after Toro takes its part, that's where you and I take our split.
What's the difference between that and, you know, we just drove up and down the strip. There's 100 mobile billboards. Those drivers are making, you know, 16 to 18 bucks an hour. Some of them might make 20 depending if they've been doing it for a couple of years. Why not pay somebody 20 bucks an hour that drives Uber for people, and then you split it versus letting somebody take your car in Turo?
So are you saying you got a rideshare person and they don't have a car, or they don't want to use their car for Uber?
Correct. You have a guy that can't afford to buy the Tesla or take it out, back credit. You say, you know what, I'm going to sponsor you the vehicle. You're going to drive Uber 40 to 50 hours a week. And the reason why I'm getting this idea is because I've driven Ubers, and then the guys tell me, you know, I got it through Hertz. Hertz is charging them 450 bucks a week.
Do you know anybody that rented
a week, bro?
Yeah. Do you know anybody that rented a car and just kept it?
That rented.
No. And now I'm talking about Uber drivers. Just a person.
No.
That rented a car and just kept it.
No.
That whole thing was Uber and Hertz's evil scam to convince everybody to do that, because nobody would do that. Now, they justify it by saying, oh, well, I need this for work, and I save money because of EV charging, blah, 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 right? Here's what I think should work, could work, needs to work.
Okay.
We take a car, and we split it into 3 shifts, 8-hour shifts.
Okay.
And an Uber driver shows up for a shift. When his shift is done, he delivers the car to the next Uber driver.
I love that idea.
Now, we charge all 3 of them half a day of what Hertz charges. And we give them a car that is free limited supercharging, because I have 2 of those.
You have a car that's what?
Free limited supercharging.
Got it, so they don't have to pay for that.
They don't pay for electricity.
They're essentially only making money because it's not costing them the cost of the car, it's not costing them the insurance.
Yeah.
We're providing a platform, and they just gotta share half of the profits. And you do it 3 times a day.
So I'm taking half. So I'm
Correct.
I'm collecting a rental and a half. So I'm winning. Here's where there's 2 things that are bad. Okay, one, how many miles are going to get put on that car? I think well over 50,000 a year.
Okay.
So how do you maintain that car? I can say when I witness a car that's over a Tesla that's over 100,000 miles, that's when you start needing to like spend real money on it.
What goes wrong with a Tesla? I've never had any mechanic issues with the Tesla.
Let's see, one Model S, the Model S, the blue Model S that's out there right now. I gotta repair the steering. It's like it's gonna be, well, Tesla wanted 4,000 for that.
To repair what?
The rack and pinion.
I don't even know what that is.
Yeah. Frankly, neither do I. Yeah. So that, you know, when it gets over, first of all, there are Teslas with 1 million miles on them. So
there are.
These are different animals, right? This is going to last longer. Cost of ownership is much lower. However, you still have to take care of it.
I think your cars get beat up because people are renting them.
Yeah.
They just beat them up. But if it's 3 people in charge of this car on a weekly basis, this is their business. This is what's putting food on their table. They're not gonna be skidding and driving and going crazy and killing the tires, because they know they're making money out of this. And they're driving passengers, they're doing their thing. I don't know why I'm stopping. But you know what I'm saying? Like, I think this is a great idea for us to come in. I've gotten asked many times by people like, you know, my car payment is so big and everything, and I can't, and in my mind I'm just thinking like, I could probably help this guy out. I could get a Tesla right now. The monthly payment is super low. You can get, you know, leasing wouldn't be worth it, right? Because they drive too many miles.
Well, the conversation we were having earlier about your car.
Yeah.
Charge much more for it. Tell people they can't leave the city. Now, that means they're paying more money and it's getting booked less often, so it's your car more often. Do the same thing with the leased car. Now, Tesla's not going to allow that. So just so you know, like, if you get in trouble and Tesla finds out you did that, I don't know what they're going to do, but it's not going to be good. But
I don't understand.
Oh, okay. When you lease a car, generally speaking, you cannot drive it more than 15,000 miles per year, right?
They'll start charging you more after that.
I would say Uber drivers put on about 50,000 a year on their cars, and
really?
I put about 30,000 on my cars.
Really?
Right?
Okay.
So my cars get driven too often, but in order to keep it down to 15,000, I would just charge more, so it gets booked less often.
Got it.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's a trade-off. You raise the price, it gets booked less, it stays within. You can literally get a lease for $329. Yes. But I think that's for the 10,000. So maybe for the 15,000 might be $399 or something.
Okay, to solve the whole, like, are you allowed to do this? Because Tesla won't allow it if you buy it for personal purposes. Just go to Tesla Fleet Services and tell them this is what I'm doing with this car.
You're not allowed to do whatever you want with the Tesla that you buy?
Not if it's leased.
Got it. If I own it, if I bought the car, my payment for the vehicle is $800 a month, and I just need to get essentially either 8 $100 rides on Turo, it will pay itself off, or I give it to some guys that have asked me for help. Hey, can you help me out? And I'll give them the vehicle. I like the idea of doing, you know, give me 50%. That means zero cost to you, but you give me 50% of the money. But I love the idea of stacking people, because then you can expand that.
Yeah, but here's the problem. Well, how often did you get called and asked why you're late for your shift while you're driving for Uber?
Never.
Yeah. How often do you set your alarm?
I get it.
So
but if I hire somebody,
that's who it attracts. That's. I'm not saying that's not a showstopper.
Yeah.
You just got to find the people. Okay. I used to have three conversations a day with Uber and Lyft drivers, and it's the same conversation every single time. I used to. Then I realized hire people like I need employees, so
Correct.
I don't do that anymore. But I had that conversation, so now I feel like I know the aggregate mind of an Uber or Lyft driver. I know what it is now.
tell me.
Well, it's that they don't want to set their alarm.
They don't want to have a specific time.
But when I talk to one that wants to make money and is determined, I can tell. I can just tell, like, this guy would be great for this idea that I have, where I take 3 of them. You guys drive this car, put those miles on it, make the money. I'm gonna get my cut, and we leave Hertz and Uber out of it, so we don't have anybody outside taking money from us.
But when you do that, is the Uber making money on my personal account or on the driver's account?
Yeah.
Because then you gotta trust that the driver's gonna pay you back.
Yeah. Well, there's a number of ways you can work it out. If you do Uber Fleet, everything's different. Now you're taking a cut from the driver.
Got it.
I haven't done that, but I know that's what they do.
So that's a whole different thing. Man, this has been like so enlightening. I feel like I want to touch more topics with you, maybe even off the podcast or whatnot, or maybe we'll do a sequel. Because I want to really talk about like your understanding on where the robotaxi will be, maybe some understanding of what it is in Las Vegas. Do you think they're gonna be, do we need more charging stations? Like, what is the future of electric, vehicles in your opinion? And there's few people that I talk about this with such passion, but I think you're also a businessman. So am I. I like trying new things. At the same time, if we're able to help people and give them some jobs, and they bring us some additional money while we sleep, it's great.
You and I are in a situation where we are incentivized to collaborate rather than compete.
I'm not trying to compete. I'm trying to determine.
I think that you're doing some things that I am not informed on, and I wish I was. So, advertising.
Okay. So
yeah, for sure. I want to learn some more about advertising.
Well, I can help you with that for sure.
Yeah.
Will from LVEV_Rentals on Instagram. It's a pleasure talking to you, my friend. It's getting dark. Let's see how it looks right now. Oh, it's not too bad with the lights. There you go. All right, I'm turning this off.